What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Big Fight Field channel, where we speak the truth, we're honest, and we give our takes on AEW. It is Wednesday night, January 18th, 2023. I am by myself tonight. There is no Wesley Williams. There is no Cameron Johnson. That is fine. We hope to get them back in 2 weeks, February 1st. I won't be on the Dynamite review next Wednesday because I'm going to a college basketball game. So no AEW next Wednesday, but just want to come on, give a brief recap of the show tonight, and I want to talk about Jay Briscoe as well. The unfortunate passing of Jay Briscoe last night. And we're really going to dive right into it. So if you haven't already, be sure, if you want to, go ahead and check out the Miami Dolphins Buffalo Bills Wild Card Weekend post-game recap video that I did, recapping the Dolphins Wild Card Weekend loss to the Buffalo Bills, which ended their season in first weekend of the playoffs. So that's up on the channel. You can also go ahead and check out my Miami Dolphins season review, where I go over the entire season and talk about whether or not it was a successful season for the Miami Dolphins. So let's talk about this. We'll talk AEW, but more importantly, the unfortunate passing of Jay Briscoe. One half of the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, one half of one of the best tag teams that we've seen in this past decade, really, of our childhood of professional wrestling. It was announced last night that Jay Briscoe had passed away at the age of 38 because of a car accident. And at first, the reason that I found this out was I'm doing homework. I'm getting ready to do a show today at college, and I go on my phone and I'm getting notifications, and I'm getting notifications from my guys, Cameron Johnson and Wesley Williams, and I read it and it says Jay Briscoe just passed, and I'm like, you're capping, because I really thought that, I thought Cameron, I thought they were capping. No lie. I thought they were capping about that news. So just to go find sources, I scrolled on Twitter, and they have it. I found Tony Khan's tweet, and Tony Khan tweeted out that Jay Briscoe, Jamin Poo, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. I apologize if I got that wrong. I believe it's Jamin Poo, passed away at the age of 38 years old in a car accident. It was announced today that it was a head-on collision with another vehicle. His two daughters are in critical condition. His wife is in critical condition. But the two daughters were wearing seatbelts in the back seat, and Jay was not wearing a seatbelt. And it was a really bad head-on-head accident going into the next lane. And it's just, God, it's so unfortunate, man. Losing someone as early like that at the age of 38 years old, it's just devastating. It really is. You feel for his family. You feel for all the amount of friends that he had, not only in the world of wrestling, but in the world, for his friends. And you see a ton of the wrestlers just come out and share their stories about Jay Briscoe and wishing the family and his friends well wishes. And I don't watch NXT anymore. You guys know that. And even NXT, I saw a clip on Twitter. NXT stopped the broadcast, and it turned to Vic Joseph and Booker T on air talking about the passing of Jay Briscoe, and you see a bunch of wrestlers talking about it. Dax Harwood, Brody King, the Young Bucks, Tony Khan, obviously, Sami Zayn. I saw a tweet from Triple H. I saw tweeted something. Seth Rollins had 4 separate tweets about how one of his first matches in Ring of Honor was against Jay Briscoe. It was just really, really unfortunate, man. Just it sucks, and I feel really bad for his family, and I felt like I should have known them earlier. I started to get familiar with them around 2018 when they were in Ring of Honor as the tag team champions. They were having a lot of matches against the Kingdom, and I just remembered how over those guys were with the audience, and how much fans love the Briscoes. And in our generation, they'll certainly be remembered as one of the best and one of the big fan favorites for tag teams in our decade. And right now, I want to send my thoughts and prayers to Jay Briscoe's family. Send my prayers to his 2 daughters who are in bad condition, and his friends that suffered and that are going through a really tough time right now with the passing of their true friend, Jay Briscoe. So we're really going to miss him. There were lots of the wrestlers wearing Briscoe armbands that said Jay. They talked about Jay Briscoe at the end of the broadcast. They opened it up with, I believe they opened it up in the beginning of the broadcast too, with thoughts and prayers. With the thoughts of prayers of Jay Briscoe. So she had to reply to something on Twitter. So let's get into Dynamite, tonight's show from Fresno, California. Just kind of recover a little bit after we go from talking about someone's passing to a wrestling show. 2 completely different things. Kind of ticks you off a little bit, man. But let's get into the show tonight. Show's alright. Nothing really special. It wasn't like last week, but it was just a really amazing show, in my opinion, last week. Compared to last week, the show was alright. It wasn't terrible, but nothing really too special as well. But we'll get into it. Orange Cassidy against Jay Lethal opened up the show for the All-Atlantic Championship. Little fun match to open up the show. Orange Cassidy retained the All-Atlantic Championship over Lethal, and the stip of the match was that if any of Jay Lethal, not Jay Lethal, if any of Jeff Jarrett, Satnam Singh, or Sanjay Dutt touched Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends, that Sanjay Dutt would be fired from AEW. So the whole thing was Sanjay Dutt holding back Jeff Jarrett and Satnam Singh to attack Orange Cassidy and to attack the Best Friends because he didn't want to get fired from his job. So that was mostly the match. house and pretended to be an usher because Satnam, Sanjay, and Jeff Jarrett had tickets. It was a little fun opener. Orange Cassidy retains the All-Atlantic Championship. We move on. The Young Bucks against Top Flight, and this was the right move, in my opinion. Top Flight goes over on a roll-up victory over the Young Bucks. They didn't beat them the first time when they were really young in AEW. They didn't beat them the second time either. But third time's a charm because Top Flight, they end up beating the Young Bucks. They get a big win, a much-needed win. And I think these kids are in for a big 2023, man. They've been in matches consecutive weeks ahead of this. They were wrestling, I wouldn't say feuding, but they had matches against the Blackpool Combat Club, Moxley, Danielson, Claudio, for the past couple of weeks, leading up to this match against the Young Bucks. And I feel like them going over was the right move. The Young Bucks, they're perfectly fine. They can take a loss and it wouldn't matter. Top Flight is on the rise, and I feel like they're going to have a big 2023. They could be the team that dethrones the Acclaim for the tag team titles. It's a real possibility, man. It is a real possibility, but hope Dante's okay too because he was limping toward the end of the match as well. And the main story they tried to tell with this, which I really liked, was the Young Bucks are sore from the 7-match series with the Death Triangle for the Trios Championships, and they're banged up. Top Flight simply took advantage. Simple and right to the point, man. You love it. You love it. What did we have next? We had... I'm going on AEW's Twitter account because I don't remember. I'm drawing a blank here. We had the Gun Club and the Acclaimed. Okay, so we had a set apparently on Rampage. The Gun Club got embarrassed by the Acclaimed by something, and they were frustrated. They were pissed off. They were storming into the ring, and they're like, the only reason the Acclaimed tag team champions are because of us. We got them over. We gave them out dead, and then they came out, and Austin Gunn interrupted the rap. He's like, no rapping. But there seems to be some conflict between the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn, a.k.a. Daddy Yes, because he was burying his sons, but he was also burying the Acclaimed as well, because he was like, you guys aren't acting like tag team champions, and you need to start acting like it. And he says, I got 2 words for you. Everybody in the Fresno crowd goes, suck it. And he says, family therapy. So next week on Dynamite, we're going to get the Guns and the Acclaimed in family therapy. So I guess we're building up to a tag team title match between the Gun Club and the Acclaimed. Not sure if it's for Revolution. My guess would be it's on a episode of Dynamite coming up. Jake Hager against Ricky Starks. I don't know what it is about this feud, man, but I'm just really not into it. I don't know what it is. I like Ricky Starks. Something feels off about this feud, and it kind of makes me not care that much. You got Action, Andretti in the feud, the entire Jericho Appreciation Society. Ricky Starks beat Jake Hager tonight, and now next week it's going to be Ricky Starks and Action, Andretti against either Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara, or Chris Jericho and Daniel Garcia, depending upon if Garcia beats If Garcia beats Action Andretti on Rampage. That's the thing. So yeah, we'll see. But to me, the storyline's kind of dragging. I don't really know why. We had Daniels. This was probably the best thing on the night, best match. We had Bryan Danielson against Bandito. This crowd absolutely loved Bandito in Fresno tonight. The fact that they were cheering for him over Bryan Danielson, who's currently feuding with MJF for the AEW World Championship heading into Revolution. And, I want to see some more Bandito, man. This freaking guy is awesome. He's strong. He's charismatic. And he's a great wrestler, too. I want to see more Bandito on AEW. I would love to see that. He lost tonight to Danielson, and MJF says, I'm just going to keep piling on the opponents. And he said, I'm playing easy with you right now, Bryan. He said, the farther we go on this journey, the harder it's going to get, and the more I'm going to slip my mask off and reveal the real me. And then it gets announced that Bryan Danielson is going to take on Brian Cage next week on Dynamite. And there's a backstage segment with MJF and Brian Cage, with MJF saying, I don't care if you win. I don't care if you even lose. What I need you to do is I need you to break Bryan Danielson's arm next week. Then he gives him a slap in the face, and he chokes out MJF. And Cage's manager, Prince Nana, he backs off Brian Cage. He's like, the money. And MJF's like, see, that's what I need. That right there, that's hate. And I need you to go in there like you hate Bryan Danielson. So, next week, Brian Cage versus Bryan Danielson. Should be a great match, man. Really looking forward to seeing how that one turns out. And then, probably the more confusing thing on the night. So we had a match between Toni Storm and Willow Nightingale. This whole storyline, some people on Twitter are saying it's going to be the originals versus, the ex-WWE women. I'm not sure how they're going to do that, but are the originals versus the newcomers? What I originally thought was going to happen was Sheeta was going to turn on Saraya and Toni Storm and be a heel. But now I feel like the storyline is kind of getting in reverse. And Saraya and Toni Storm are the heels, since they turned heel tonight, attacking Willow Nightingale after the match, which I really don't know how that is going to transpire the next couple weeks, because if it's the newcomers versus the originals, I don't know how that's going to work out. So, should be interesting. And then the main event, Darby Allin against Kushida for the TNT Championship. Great technical match all the way until the end. Kushida caught Darby Allin on the outside of the ring with an armbar trap. And Darby won with the Last Supper, and they hugged after the match. And Kushida raised his hand and congratulated Darby Allin, and that was Dynamite. So, just a brief recap, since I'm by myself tonight, and I mainly wanted to talk about Jay Briscoe, unfortunately passing away. So that's all I got for tonight. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel. Right now, and I said this on Sunday's post-game recap video. No, I didn't say it Sunday. I said it on Monday's season review. That the content on this channel, now that the Miami Dolphins season is over, is going to be very light, because now I'm at the stage where I'm close to finishing college and I need to focus on college a lot the last 8 weeks that I have. So content on this channel is not going to be a lot. You obviously, next week I'm not going to be here. I'm going to the UCF Houston college basketball game, which should be fun because Houston's the number 1 team in college basketball. So I'm excited for that. But you'll get your shows on Wednesday night with AEW. I have a couple more Miami Dolphin videos that I want to make. I have a video coming out on about Tua on Friday. Friday, you're going to get a video about Tua. Next week, you're going to get a video about improvements where the Dolphins should make in the offseason. That's probably it. And then for a football video, maybe the Super Bowl. More than likely, I'll make a video about the Super Bowl. The night after the night of the AFC NFC Championship games, react to the games and stuff. Then through Super Bowl week, I'll even do a preview for the Super Bowl if you guys want me to. And not a recap, but I'll do a preview for the Super Bowl. And, maybe I'll do a live reaction. I don't know. But I'll definitely do something for the Super Bowl on this channel. But content the next few weeks until I graduate college, which seems like far away, March 24th, but it's really not too far away. Content is going to be at a bare minimum. So, hate to break it to you, but I got to do what I got to do, So subscribe to the channel. Comment down below your thoughts on tonight's episode of Dynamite. You can leave your thoughts in comments about Jay Briscoe as well. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from me. Follow me on Twitter and TikTok at Colin_Joseph. And guys, I'm getting out of here. Have a good night. Stay safe. And as always, stay classy. I'm out. Peace.